Just why did the world go on a bread baking craze when the pandemic started? Why couldn't you find a set of gym weights at any store to save your life? And why did we take on 100 different home projects? Because mastery feels good. Hi, I'm Dr. Amanda Wetegrove-Romine, a licensed psychologist, and it's my life's mission to help women recover from the anxiety and depression that comes with being a perfectionist. I'm here to teach you simple, evidence-based strategies to keep perfectionism from sabotaging your life. And today we're talking about mastery. So what is mastery? Do you need to become a stay-at-home gym rat or a banana bread aficionado to achieve it? Let's break down mastery and let me help you figure out how you can reach it to feel happier, healthier, and more in control when everything is out of control. From baking bread to gardening to exercise to crocheting, many of us looked for ways to cope at the beginning of the pandemic. You remember. What is it about challenging but doable activities that make us feel more in control? Mastering activities leads to feeling competent, confident, and capable. And these traits make us feel more in control. When we're kids, there's ample opportunities to master things because everything's new, and we don't feel shame about being judged for failing. We fall, and we're encouraged to get back up. But as we get older, novel opportunities become more and more rare, and societal judgment makes us less likely to put ourselves out there and try something we might not be naturally good at. Mastery is really good for us. Mastering an activity takes intense focus. In positive psychology, it's referred to as flow state. And you see this in athletes and in other kinds of creatives who throw themselves into their art and report losing track of time. Self-confidence builds as we reflect on the progress we make over time, when we can connect our results to the work we put in. We determine the outcome, and this runs counter to most things in our lives where we have little control. When it comes to mastery, you have to find a sweet spot. For an activity to build mastery, it has to be challenging but doable. You want to get a sense of accomplishment from it, not feel like a total failure because it was too difficult to achieve on the first try. So if you don't run, setting the goal to run a 5K straight out of the gate is not likely to build mastery. Choosing to run a quarter mile, on the other hand, is going to be very hard, but likely possible. Start small, but not too small that it wasn't challenging enough. When it comes to mastery, you have to keep growing. Mastery loses its effect when it becomes too easy. An easier activity may be relaxing and gratifying in its own ways, but if it's not difficult enough, it won't build mastery. This is counterintuitive to everything our culture teaches, where the ultimate goal is comfort. Many experts can do their job on autopilot with their eyes closed. Mastery requires continuous challenge in order to reap the benefits. This means you have to do it consistently, building on the difficulty level to continue getting the sense of accomplishment. So let me give you an example. When I started spending time in nature, the idea of staying anywhere outdoors overnight was really intimidating. So I just started with day hiking. I learned how to pack everything I needed in my bag, and I carried it out for the day, came home. After a while, that became really easy. So then I started car camping. That was more challenging. I had to think about the things that I would need overnight, the things I would need when I woke up in the morning. After that became really easy, I decided just here in April to try my hand at backcountry camping. This is where you carry everything you need out, miles and miles. We did 7 miles. And so you're really stuck once you get there. Because I had never done this before, I built mastery, but it wasn't something that I could have done right out of the gate. I had to start small with day hiking in order to get to this point of mastery. So what are the benefits of mastery? Why do it? It's hard. Mastery pulls from 2 highly effective treatments for depression: behavioral activation and cognitive therapy. When I'm working with folks who are depressed, we make specific plans for them to do activities that make them feel competent. For really depressed folks, this might mean making the bed or showering. Mastery is not about the difficulty of the task in general, but how difficult it is for you right now, depending on your circumstances and context. This is really important. Do not beat yourself up if you have to start very small. When we complete a difficult task, the story we have about ourselves starts to change. I can't do hard things shifts to I can do hard things when we have the evidence for it. Research shows that mastery leads to a higher quality of life, greater levels of happiness, higher self-esteem, and a more positive self-image. Plus, it's also shown to decrease depression. But what if you're a perfectionist? Here are two potential problems to look out for. You will likely choose something that's too hard out of the gate. Remember, perfectionists usually set really unrealistic standards for themselves. And this will lead you to procrastinate because you're planning for something that's too difficult to begin with. So not only will you not build mastery, but you'll also feel shame about the procrastination. Give yourself permission to start small. Because perfectionistic brains believe in perfection over progress, when you complete the task, you may judge yourself negatively for not doing enough, for not doing more. You may have thoughts like, I should have done more, I should have done something harder, something more challenging. This actually happened to me recently. I went on a hike. It was really challenging, but it was short in the amount of miles. And I noticed my inner critic started to say those same things. You could have hiked further. You could have hiked longer. This wasn't long enough. And I had to catch those quickly and shift the story I was telling myself. There must be a path to improvement in order to build mastery. So choosing something that you can build on over time is imperative. So if you identify as a perfectionist, I hope that this video about mastery helps you fight off depression, build self-confidence, and experience more joy and contentment. You deserve it. Like I've said in my other videos, many of us have perfectionistic tendencies, and the tendencies in and of themselves aren't a problem. But if you notice that perfectionism is sabotaging your life, your relationships, your mood, your work, your self-esteem, consider talking to a mental health professional, like a psychologist or a master's level therapist. Visit psychhike.com for details on the services I provide for perfectionists, including hike therapy, a great way to exercise your body and your mind. And if perfectionism is sabotaging your life, check out my gift to you. It's linked below, a free guide I created with 7 daily habits you can use to manage perfectionism. Like I said, it's my life's mission to help women struggling with anxiety and depression recover and reach their full potential. See you soon.